You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, let's talk about two key Indiana Fever players. Of course, one is a extremely key figure to the entire league, and that's really the face of the league, Caitlin Clark. The other one is Kelsey Mitchell, somebody that the Indiana Fever hope they can retain, but it's possible that a new CBA could affect whether or not they could retain her, and there's some specifics we want to look at there. I've said, I thought, in my opinion, there was a really good chance Kelsey Mitchell would decide to go somewhere else. The Fever want to keep her. I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong. It's not a gotcha moment, and it's not an issue I'm going to lose sleep over. I can tell you that much. It would be nice to have Kelsey Mitchell back if we can get her back. But I think there's a chance that another team that needs scoring really badly is going to look at her and be like, that is built-in scoring. Let's go get her and pay her a lot of money. So we'll look at Kelsey in a second. How would a work stoppage, and by the way, we are essentially 20 days away from a potential, if they don't extend the deadline November 30th, then we got a problem. Now, if that was to lead into a lockout, yada, 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 how is that going to affect Caitlin Clark? I will say this. I think that a lot of the new fans they have the league on a, how do I put this? The league is on a bit of a trial period with a lot of new fans, and the league probably should do its best to make sure they come back and play basketball on time. It would be in their best interest, right? So if they want to keep some of that momentum, right? Given that the Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in women's basketball, there's a lot of interest around how a potential WNBA work stoppage in 2026 might impact her. The short answer is not very much, at least not when compared to most other WNBA players. ESPN's Michael Volpa explained that while this is the case in a November 10th article by saying Clark has high-profile endorsement deals that provide her much more income than her WNBA salary, she is part of a group of players, both veterans and those still on rookie contracts, who could weather a potential work stoppage without financial hardship. That said, a key part of the earning endorsements is visibility, which the WNBA provides. In other words, because number 22 makes so much money off the court, a potential lockout wouldn't be as much of an issue for her compared to most other WNBA players who don't make nearly as much with endorsements and sponsorships. And we know as of right now, we think the next time we're going to see her playing actual competitive basketball is going to be next year when Team USA plays. All right, now that remains to be seen, but that's the word on the basketball streets right now, that she's going to end up playing there. Now, on to Kelsey Mitchell. Indiana Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell will be one of the most coveted players on the market when she, like practically every WNBA player not on a rookie contract, reaches free agency next spring. The ongoing CBA negotiations will affect her as an all-star player who is regarded as an elite scorer, but who does not boast the off-court income of players like Asia Wilson or Fever teammate Caitlin Clark. An ESPN primer on how the CBA talks will impact players. I guess these came from the same article, actually. Around the league described Mitchell, a three-time All-Star, as someone who, quote, doesn't have the off-court brand and endorsement deals to give her a large supplemental income. In other words, if they were to go to a lockout, it's going to hurt somebody like Kelsey Mitchell very much in the pocketbook. Even the highest paid player in the league last season, Mitchell's $249,244 salary, does not put the 29-year-old in a position to accept a lower figure if she wanted to build a super team in Indiana or elsewhere. Mitchell, who set a new Fever record by averaging 20.2 points per game in 2025, has been, quote, cored by Indiana, which has prevented her from signing with another team in free agency, but has allowed her to rake in a supermax salary. A WNBA franchise can core a player for 2 years. A new CBA could see the core designation used on a player just once. And the multi-year core designation disappears, Mitchell and other players in her star bracket would be ineligible for the tag more than once. It could give a player of Mitchell's caliber a lot of control over where she wants to play her basketball, which the Fever hope will be in Indiana for many years to come. So, and I believe it was Amber Cox that came out and said their number one goal was to make sure that Kelsey Mitchell was back. I mean, the Fever's got a big three, right? If they can keep it intact. And we know two of the big three, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, well, they're two of the big three. They're both on rookie deals. Kelsey Mitchell's the other piece of the puzzle. Now, what nobody else talks about is there's going to be a lot of other free agents out there, okay? So if something was to happen and Kelsey does leave, the Fever is going to have plenty of superstars in the WNBA, speaking on their terms, they're superstars to choose from, right? To replace her. Now, she adds a massive scoring dynamic that would be hard to replace. No doubt about it. I would just remind everybody, part of her ability to take as many shots was that Caitlin Clark was hurt. Okay, so some of those shots are going to, look, if even she's able to take 2 or 3 less shots a game, it's going to affect her overall numbers and all of these kind of things. Because we expect, at least we hope, and the WNBA better hope, I can tell you that, based on the interest and what happened once it was revealed Caitlin wasn't coming back, they better hope Caitlin Clark is able to play all season long, devoid of injury. The league needs it. I've talked to a lot of fans that are like, until I actually see Caitlin Clark back on the court and shooting shots in an actual game, they're like, I don't care. I don't care. And some of that is some animosity towards the Fever organization for how all of that was handled for 2 whole months. Oh, there's an ankle injury now. All of that. I'm not sure people understand exactly how much that angered a lot of fans. Ones that actually spent their money. You know, it's something to think about. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.